Good evening. Welcome to another session of Yoga with the Sage and Tiger. Sage will be playing the gong in just a minute. Tiger will be instructing today. So tonight is Friday. We will do gentle, trauma-focused yoga class where I remind you to focus on how you feel in the different poses, where all you feel the stretches on the strength moves. And I just try to share a little bit of my own experience with PTSD. However, I understand that sometimes when you do have PTSD, it becomes challenging to keep focusing on your body because you may not feel comfortable or safe in your own body at the time. If that's the case, just ignore what I say, but continue to practice, because yoga in itself, even if you don't connect the mind to the body, it almost does it automatically for you. And you still get great benefits out of this class, regardless, okay? Also, if I do a yoga pose that is not one that feels good to you, or you would rather do a different one, or you need to do a modification of any type, go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter to what extent you perform each pose tonight. Tonight is Friday. It's the night where you do yoga for yourself and just practice to your own liking. I hope that makes sense, and I've spoken enough. So let's go ahead and come to a comfortable position. This evening we're going to start on the back. So I hope everybody is comfortable with going onto the back. You can keep your feet on the mat, or you can straighten out your legs. And then, if you're comfortable with it, gently close your eyes and place your right hand onto your belly and your left hand onto your heart. And Jasper says no, place the right hand onto Jasper. So I will do that instead. But go ahead and just bring your attention inward, lying like this. And just notice all the different things that are going on inside of you, both in your mind and in your body. And whatever you come across, just acknowledge without judging and without labeling. Just become aware of how you feel tonight on a physical, mental, and emotional level. attention to the breath. And just notice how you're breathing right now. Let your belly come out as you inhale. Push your hand away as you inhale, and then draw your navel to the spine, so pull your belly away from your hand as you exhale. And then think about inhaling on a count of 4, holding the breath at the top of the inhale, and then exhaling on a count of 6 or more, and holding the breath at the bottom of the exhale. I will count the first down for you, and then you can continue on your own. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. And continue on your own. And wherever you are in the cycle of your breath, finish one more round. And we will begin on the back. You can gently blink your eyes open, or you can keep them closed. It doesn't matter. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep the arms alongside the body and just roll the head from one side to the other. Slowly and gently. And just notice what's going on in your neck today. If you spend your working day in front of the computer, you might feel a little stiffness in your neck. And hopefully rolling the head back and forth can alleviate a little bit of the tightness. And then come back to the center with your head and hug both knees into your body. Hug them in tightly. And then see if you can bring your forehead to your knees, making yourself small and round. Think about when you were a kid. Did you do this sometimes? Did you want to make yourself into a small package? And then maybe you rock back and forth along your spine. Children and animals do a lot of yoga instinctively. And I think if you have practiced yoga for a while, I think you know why. They know that instinctively that makes their bodies and minds feel better. And I don't know why in adulthood we kind of forget about it for a while. Let's go ahead and rock all the way up to a seated position. And then we'll take the legs in front, keeping the knees slightly bent and the feet a little bit apart. Inhale as you reach your arms up, and then exhale as you let your upper body just collapse over your leg. So you can round your back tonight and just see what you feel. Notice what you feel. Notice where all you feel the stretch. Notice if there is an emotion that comes about along with these physical sensations you're feeling. And also see that if you could use your breath in this pose, if maybe your body lets you naturally go a little bit deeper after a few breaths. But this is a very passive stretch. You're just letting the upper body collapse over your leg. Your knees are slightly bent. And you're just letting your body stay here for a moment without pushing. And then whenever we're holding positions, go back to that breath if you can. Trying to make the exhales a little bit longer than the inhales. That helps your parasympathetic nervous system to take over. And that part of your nervous system is in charge of the more relaxing, calming activities, while the sympathetic nervous system is usually in charge of fight and flight and freeze, which are all trauma responses that are so annoying, for lack of a better word. Go ahead and bring your upper body up. And then we'll go onto the hands and knees and move through cat and cow. Exhaling into cat pose, let your head hang and round your back, and inhaling to cow pose, sway your back and look up. And you can do this on your own, at your own pace. Slow or faster, whatever feels good tonight. But pay attention to how your spine responds and what your back feels like. Notice if you have any specific tightness anywhere in your back and maybe also in your hips. On your next inhale, widen your knees and go into extended child's pose. Wiggle your hips on the way down if you need to. And it does not matter whether your hips land on your heels. If they do, good. If they don't, like I said, they don't have to. But then when you are in your final position, try to press the third eye region of your forehead into the mat, which is the area between your eyebrows. And just like that breathing technique that we used in the beginning of class, pressing the third eye into a firm surface also alleviates anxiety. And let's go ahead and tuck the toes under, coming up into our first downward facing dog of the evening. And we will pedal the feet back and forth, just letting the body get used to downward facing dog. Notice what your legs feel like. Maybe it feels good to you to flip the toes over, stretching across the fronts of the ankles. Rolling out the ankles sometimes feels good. Or you can just keep moving back and forth. With the feet. We will go ahead and settle in to the down dog. So lower both heels as far as they want to go tonight. They never have to touch. And then we will make a little movement in the upper body. So we will rock just slightly forward and back. And you can, if this is a little too hard, you can always go onto your knees here and just rock forward and back, making a little movement here in the shoulders. So forward and back. Look at your fingers, spread them wide. And then see what that feels like all over your body. Notice all the different areas where you feel this stretch and this movement. Acknowledge without labeling. And then again, settle into your down dog with your feet maybe hip distance apart. Your hands shoulder width. Let's go ahead and step the feet wider this time, maybe mat width apart. And also take the hands a little bit wider. You can actually hold on to the sides of your mat. And then just really rock back into your down dog. So this is no longer a down dog, this is a modified version of it, but you should feel a little bit of a different area in your shoulders and your legs that you didn't feel when you were in the other hand and foot position in the down dog. And then bring your hands and feet back together a little more. And come back down into extended child's pose, bringing the third eye down. Press it down and then walk the fingertips away from your body. And maybe you can reach the tailbone away from you. Taking slow, deep breaths. And come up onto your knees. Step your right foot forward. And then scoot the left knee back. And just hold the stretch here. You can keep your hands on the floor or you can take your arms to your front thigh. You want to push this left hip forward so that you feel a stretch in the area that connects your thigh with your hip. And then go ahead and shift your hips back. Let your upper body just round over your front leg. And tonight, if your hips don't want to stay leveled, if they want to stick out, the right hip wants to stick out to the side, that's fine. Only because it's Friday. And then bring the upper body up and take your right leg out to the side. Taking the right hand to the right thigh. Inhale the left arm up, and as you exhale, let your right hand slide down your right leg and bring the left arm over, maybe looking at the left fingertips. But if that doesn't feel good on your neck, just keep your head in a neutral position. Feel a stretch through the left side of your body. And then come back up. Bring your hands and knees down. And then we'll just switch, bringing the left foot forward Hands either on the floor or on your front thigh, and then just rock forward, feeling the stretch right here where the thigh connects to the hip. The more you push forward, the more you will feel the stretch. Hello, Kirsa, my angel dog. Hello, Jasper. And we will go ahead and rock back, letting the upper body just fall forward over the leg. Make sure you're taking deep breaths, and maybe you feel a difference between the two legs. Maybe you feel that one leg is tighter than the other. And if you feel that, just acknowledge it. There's no need to ponder why it is the way it is or what feels better or worse. No need to do that. Just acknowledge that it is. Inhale, reach your right arm up, and exhale, come into gate pose, letting the left hand slide down the left leg, stretching over. And once again, if you want to, look at your top fingertips, if that feels good on your neck. Breathing deeply, feel a nice stretch through the right side of your body. And then come back to the center. Let's tuck the toes under for downward facing dog. Take slow, deep breaths. Notice all the different areas you feel in this position, different areas of your body. If you have emotions that come up, notice them. Also acknowledge them, but again, do not try to ponder them right now because that makes your mind wander. And we want to keep the mind focused on the body and on the yoga. So walk your hands in towards the feet, and as you do that, bend your knees. Let your body hang in ragdoll. If you feel tightness in your neck and shoulders, shake out your head, roll out your shoulders, or let your upper body sway. Just be completely loose here if you can. So the crown of your head is facing downward towards the mat. And if you have your eyes open, you're looking in between your legs to the wall behind you. And then slowly begin to roll your back up, one vertebra at a time. Slowly stacking the spine and paying attention to what the back feels like when you do that. And then let your shoulder blades slide down your back. And I think tonight we will just practice tree pose. So balancing pose, if you need to move somewhere where you can hold on, go ahead and do that. If not, just try to be playful with the balancing poses. Try not to be so hard on yourself. Take your right knee and turn it out to the side. And if your balance is off tonight, it's sufficient to just stay like this using the big toe for balance. Or if you want to try a little more, you can slide the right foot up the calf and keep it there. Or if you want to take it further, you can take the right foot up to the left thigh. And then think about this. You want to push Oh, I can't talk and balance at the same time tonight. You want to push the right foot into the left thigh, and then at the same time, though, you want to push the left thigh against the right foot so that you are equally pressing from the foot and the thigh. So you're pinning your hips in towards each other. And then if you like, you can open your arms. Usually balancing works best if you find just a focal point somewhere in front of you, a point that's not moving. And then bring your hands back together. Lower your right leg and roll out your left ankle. Good job. And of course, we're doing this on the other side too. So you know what we're doing. Go ahead and move into tree pose at your own pace. Place your foot wherever it feels best. And it's not unusual that one side works better than the other, so it's normal. So whenever you come to a good position, press the right leg towards the left foot, and at the same time, whoa, at the same time, press the left foot into the right thigh. And then take your arms up if you like. Pulling the navel in helps you stabilize the core and maybe the entire pose. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then notice all the different areas in your body where you feel this. Also notice what your brain is doing, what your mind is doing. Is your mind getting frustrated, or can you keep it playful? Bring your left foot down and roll out your right ankle. I used to tend to get frustrated with my balancing poses because I used to be a gymnast and I used to work on the balance beam. And then when I stopped doing that, and a few years later, I started just balancing on the floor and I couldn't do it. That was pretty frustrating. But try to keep a playful attitude about it, because all you can do at a given time is try your best, right? And if that's not happening on a given day, then we'll try again tomorrow. Okay? So let's come to the front edge of the mat. And we'll just take a nice deep breath in, lifting the arms up. And then see if you can add a little back bend here. If you can, notice what your back feels like, and then slowly roll down, one vertebra at a time. Roll it all the way down. Bend the knees. And again, let your upper body just hang in ragdoll pose. And then slowly roll it back up, one vertebra at a time. Good job. When you get up there, slide your shoulder blades down your back, and then we will just go ahead and step the right foot back, turning the foot over in the rear so that we have the heel and the back arch aligned, and then open your arms to a warrior two. Gaze across your front fingertips. And then maybe you can experiment a little bit with your lunge, coming deeper, making the thigh more parallel to the floor. And then see what it feels like if you back up a little bit, back off a little bit. And then place yourself into the pose where it feels the best to you. And then we will simply come through the center, turning the toes forward, inhaling up in the center. And then as we exhale, we will do the warrior two on the other side. So just turn your right toes out. Come to warrior two. Again, with the heel to arch alignment. And then experiment a little bit with your lunge, coming forward deeper into it, and then backing out of it a little bit. And then place yourself into the position that feels best. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. Just notice your body and warrior two. And then inhale again in the center, toes pointing forward, lifting the arms up. And then exhale into 5-pointed stars. So let your toes point out just a little bit. And then bring your arms out from your shoulders and slightly up. Also think about letting the curve in your lower back be natural. So try not to exaggerate. What I mean by that is try not to overarch your lower back. So try to bring your pelvis into a neutral position. And then think about what it feels like if you pulled your heels in towards each other, but reach the fingertips away from each other and reach the crown of the head up while reaching the tailbone down. Let's take a deep breath here. And on an exhale, slowly let your upper body come forward and down. And if you can, go ahead and touch the floor or take your arms, your hands to your legs. You can also experiment with the width of your legs. If you like, you can try to put the forehead, the crown of the head onto the floor. So now you're pushing the very top, the very center of your head into the floor, but it's not necessary. But if you want to try it and you have yoga blocks, a yoga block would be very helpful here. And let's go ahead and make our way back onto the hands and knees. Good job. Taking the right foot behind us. With a straight leg, press the heel towards the floor or to the wall behind you maybe. Maybe that's a better description. And notice how you feel the stretch in your calf muscle. Also, if your toes are very tired, you might feel this in your toes. And let's go ahead and bend the knee and notice how the stretch moves further down towards the ankle here. And we will lift this leg up and place the left foot and the right foot to the outside of the left leg. Once again, toes on the floor, reach through the heel, but then bring your hands right underneath your shoulders Lift up out of your shoulders and then look over your left shoulder. And notice all the different areas where you feel the stretch. You should actually, in your mind's eye, in your mind, call out the different areas where you feel this. And just observe and notice. And then bring this leg back to the center and come back to your hands and knees. This time we're going to bring the left foot behind us with a straight leg. Reach through your heel to the wall behind you and notice the stretch in the bulky part of your calf. Staying here for a moment, we're going to take a few nice deep breaths. Does this leg feel different than the other leg? Do you have one calf that's tighter than the other calf? Let's go ahead and bend the knee then and let the stretch move down towards the ankle of the left foot. Breathing deeply. And then go ahead and lift up this leg and place it to the outside of the right leg. Toes on the ground, hands underneath the shoulders. Reach through the heel and lift out of your shoulders, looking over the right shoulder. Feel the stretch in all different areas of your body. So this is no longer just the leg stretch here. You probably also feel it in your hip on the left side and on the left side of your torso, maybe in your shoulders. Slowly breathing. And then take your leg back to the center. And let's widen the knees and go into extended child's pose, pressing the third eye down. Good job. Take slow, deep breaths. And maybe you can just take inventory of what your body feels like overall. And also of how your mind feels. Do you feel a little bit more peaceful now that you've started your yoga practice? Do you feel a little bit more relaxed than you did before you started yoga? Just kind of take inventory and listen to your mind and your body. And we'll come on up. Moving into a yoga squat. If yoga squat is too deep and your knees are achy tonight, you can do a different version. I'm going to show you the version for knee issues first. And then if you would like to go deeper, you can follow me into the deeper yoga squat. Okay, so let's come to a standing position here. And you decide how deep you want to take this, but a yoga squat, you can take your elbows against the inner thighs and push the knees away so that you create a nice stretch in your inner thighs. Now, if you like to go deeper, you can come down all the way, again, placing the elbows against the inner thighs, pushing the knees away, and just staying here for a moment. Take slow, deep breaths. For me, the problem is not really being in this deep knee bend. It usually is coming back out. That's when my knees hurt a little bit. Slowly breathing. And then we will make our way back out of this pose and back to seated, just briefly, taking the hands on either side of the hips. Let the fingers face forward and then lift yourself up into a reverse table. Bring your head into a neutral position unless you like to let your head drop back all the way. And then think about lifting your heart towards the sky. So lift your heart. Lift your pelvis. And feel a stretch across your shoulders here. Open your shoulder girdle. Widen your collarbones. There we go. Widen across your collarbones. And then slowly come back down. Sorry, my brain was just playing jokes with me there for a moment. Take your hands around the shins and then just round your back and let your head drop. And then slowly bring your upper body back up. We're going to go down onto the back. Slowly help yourself as you go down. And then bring both knees in towards you and transfer your hands to the outer lower leg. And then begin to pull your knees in towards your armpits. So this is happy baby pose. You can experiment around a little bit by straightening out one leg and bending the other a little bit more. And then switching sides. Think about reaching the tailbone away from you. And then once again, becoming the observer of your practice. Notice all the different areas of your body where you feel the stretch. You can also be static and just hold the stretch if you like. But observe and acknowledge all the different areas of your body where you feel the stretch. You can also rock a little bit from side to side. Remember, this is called happy baby pose. If you remember watching a baby in the crib, that's what they do. They play with their legs like this, and it feels good. And then from here, cross your right leg over the left and bend both legs. And then get a hold of your ankles and just pull the lower legs in towards your body. And you should feel a nice deep outer hip stretch in the leg that's on top right now. Breathing through. And again, I want to encourage you to close your eyes because you can keep that body and mind connection going a little bit better if you eliminate any type of distraction, visual distraction. So instead of seeing, maybe you can switch modes to feeling. Just notice Notice all the different areas in your body where you feel the stretch, and then also observe if there's an emotion that comes along with it. Switch your side. And if you come across an emotion, maybe you can say to yourself, well, that's interesting, rather than, I wonder why I feel this way. It's a different way of acknowledging that things are happening inside of us without being always so critical or so analytical about everything. And then release your legs and go ahead and place your feet onto the mat. Tonight, we will actually extend the left leg out and lift the right leg up. And then we will take the right arm to the side and the left hand to the right leg and gently guide that right leg all the way over to the floor. When you do that, your hip will come up off the floor. And when your foot hits the floor, then turn your head to the right and make sure that both shoulders are on the floor. So right now you feel a twisting stretch through your torso. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can bend your knee and push the knee towards the floor instead of the long leg. So that transfers a little bit deeper into the midsection, the torso of your body. In either way, the twisting stretches are really good for your digestive system. So your body really appreciates this. But really your body appreciates all yoga poses. Come back to the center. And then extend your right leg and lift the left leg up. Take your right hand to the left leg and gently guide it over to the side. And when the foot hits the floor, then bring your left arm out wide and turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Make sure both shoulders are on the floor. And once again, if you like, that deeper stretch, bend your knee and try to bring the knee to the floor instead of the long leg. It just deepens the stretch. In these twisting stretches, think about like you are almost like wringing out your midsection. And when you do that, you are also twisting your internal organs, which we always want to try to keep the internal organs pliable and flexible. But it really isn't that easy to do that, except for when you do these twisting stretches. I wouldn't know any other way to do it. And then come back to the center and hug your knees into your body. Bring your forehead to your knees. Once again coming back to this little package. And then stick your legs up into the air. Unless you really want to do a different inversion. If you know a different inversion like a headstand or a shoulder stand and you know how to do them safely, feel free to do them. But I'm just going to stay right here and I'm going to rotate my ankles. Pointing and flexing the toes. Scrunching up the toes. You can keep holding on to your legs if your legs are tired, or you can bring your arms to the floor. We're sticking here for a moment. Feel free to close your eyes now. And then notice also, and the reason I'm bringing your attention to it is because I feel like my shoulders are holding a whole lot of tension that is not necessary right now. So I'm going to try to relax my shoulders to the floor and see if they want to stay relaxed. And then focus on your breathing. While we are reversing the flow from the feet back to the heart. See if you can go back to that breathing pattern you did in the beginning. And slowly take your legs down and bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall out to the side. One hand, right hand to your belly, left hand to your heart. Gently keep your eyes closed. Let the knees just naturally fall towards the floor. And again, come back to that breathing pattern. Inhale on a count of 4. And then hold the breath. And exhale on a count of 6 or more. And then hold the breath once again. And as you lay here and you do your breathing, notice your body's response to your deep breath. Let your body relax. It's time to relax and release. Surrender to the moment. And if you like to continue to stay in this position for the remainder of our relaxation, you feel free to do that. Or come to any other position that you find comfortable and relaxing, and you can stay for the remainder of the final relaxation. Comfortable, relaxed, allowing your body to let go, but trying to keep that body and mind connection going. Notice what you find within. And again, just take inventory without making judgment calls, without dwelling on anything. Gently begin to make movements in your fingers and your toes. Let your thumbs brush up against the pads of your fingers, moving back and forth and feeling a tingling sensation. And then gently roll your head from one side to the other, back and forth. And placing your feet onto your mat. As you inhale, reach your arms behind you. And as you exhale, curl up on your right side. Make a pillow with your hands. And thank yourself for showing up on your mat tonight. And then keeping your eyes closed, gently help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And when you get there, place your hands into Anjali Mudra, thumbs to your heart. Gently bow your head. Take just a minute to seal in your practice. Feel your heart beat. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel the mind-body connection going. And I hope you feel good about yourself. I think you did an awesome job tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Come here, you. Thank y'all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye now.